Merry Christmas, everyone, and thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules to watch this new episode from Marvel's Knights and Deities. Don't worry, this won't take long. I know that everyone here has more important shows to worry about watching and movies to get to, such as Iron Man 3, Marvel Superheroes Frostfight, or binge watching all of Hawkeye. But I thought it was time that we appreciate the guys that make everything possible and really helps out a lot during Christmas. The Elves. Don't worry, it's not going to take long. We're only going to talk about three. Specifically, the Queen of Alfheim herself, Queen Estella Featherwine of the Fae, Sir Ivory Honeyshot, and Faraday. Let's begin with Her Majesty herself, Queen Elsa Featherwine of the Fae. As obvious, like in their title, she's the Queen. You live under her rule, but don't worry, she's a fair queen. But for a while, I can honestly say Thor himself probably didn't think she was because, back during one of his many escapades before he became the mighty Thor and still arguably one of the most powerful members of the Avengers, the Warriors 3, his good friends, decided to make a bet to see if he can actually get a lock of hair from her. But he got the hair, but it cost him his beard. She burned him, if you were curious. Yeah, the Queen herself actually burned the God of Thunder. Which is kind of interesting because when you read about it, it doesn't really talk about her powers, but if she was able to do that, she's definitely got some connection to magic, and it's pretty powerful magic if she was able to burn Thor. I mean, like I said, he didn't really get hurt too bad, but it took him 20 years to grow his beard back. Now look, I don't know about you, but I know me personally, I couldn't live with the sight of losing my beard to a fire that hot. You know how long it takes me to make this look nice? I have to trim it like every other week or so. But, like I said, the important thing is that he won the bet, he got it. And it's even more funny because Jane Foster, when she was Thor, she actually ended up doing the same thing. But she did a more direct approach. Instead of just, trying to sneak her way into getting it, she actually, like I said, she took the direct approach. She went right up and asked her, hey, can I have a lock of your hair? I need to prove a bet to these guys that I am just as tough as Thor is. But even for a while, believe it or not, she actually had to live with Malekith the Accursed for a while. And yeah, they were married for a while, but don't worry. The marriage got annulled and Alfheim was free of the Dark Elves. So all in all, it ended up being a happy outcome in the end. Now let's move over to Sir Ivory Honeyshot. I know, the name's kind of funny. I mean, Now let's move over to Sir Ivory Honeyshot. I know, the name sounds a little funny, Honeyshot. Trust me, that's no joking matter. The guy's an expert marksman. I mean, trust me, if you're in one of those competitions where they have to put an apple above your head and hope that they get the apple and not you, you will, again, hope and pray that he hits the apple. He will, but you'll still hope that he hits the apple on target. But, like I said, back to the more important part about him. The guy is no joking matter. He holds the rank of First Cavalier in the Royal Dragoon of all of Alfheim that directly answer the Queen herself. Matter of fact, he even helped Thor in the War of the Realms against Malekith during a big story arc in Marvel called War of the Realms. And they helped save all the 9 realms during this event. I mean, it was a huge event where literally all the best champions throughout the 9 realms had to come together and actually work as a team. And he was shocked, that he had to actually work with a Dark Elf, but he eventually put that aside and realized that not all Dark Elves were as bad as his entire race had made them out to be. Something else you should know about him? The bullets that are inside of his pistols, and yes, he actually does carry pistols, hence why I said he's a sharpshooter. The pistols actually happen to carry, they happen to contain iron bullets. As you know, in folklore, every type of elf, including fairies and pixies, they're actually very vulnerable to iron. So it would make sense that he'd want to, majority of the time, keep bullets that are made of the one thing that can actually hurt his people. So if you're in a fight with him, and if you get hit, you're still going to get hurt from those bullets, but you're not really going to suffer a lot of lead poisoning. It's going to be a lot worse because, like I said, it's iron. So if you are in contact with him, just make sure that you're on his good side, because then it will kind of bad. And now for a finale, let's end it off with Faraday. The first light elf in Marvel I was actually introduced to personally. He first appeared in an episode of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes on Disney XD. And during that episode, it was actually the second part, or however many parts it was to an episode beforehand, where Baron Zemo and the Masters of Evil fought against the Avengers. And in doing so, how we end up meeting him was that the Avengers were fighting against the Masters of Evil, like I said, but Baron Zemo pulled out a Nornstone. It was part of his plan to separate the Avengers. But in doing so, it also separated the Masters of Evil. And the Avengers and the Masters of Evil, like I said, they ended up in different parts of the realms of Norse mythology. Hawkeye ended up in Alfheim, where he met up with Faraday, who helped him fight against a pack of, a bunch of wolves. I guess they would be Asgardian wolves. They never really lay out like the natural flora and fauna that are throughout the land, but I'm pretty sure that these were just wolves that you do see in Alfheim instead of the traditional stuff that you'd see like winged cats or unicorns. That doesn't mean that big wolves don't exist in Alfheim. It's just, like I said, for the most part, because Asgard goes back and forth, with Alfheim, it probably were just a bunch of Asgardian wolves that just happened to be there at the time as well. But, like I said, he not only helped Hawkeye, he actually helped out with the Avengers and the other Asgardians later on to fight against Loki and his forces, because that was all part of Loki's plan to, as traditional Loki Laufey's on fashion, just wanted to one-up his brother and their parents. But in doing so, I hope you all enjoyed the time. I hope you loved the video, and in doing so, let me leave you off with this. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, Merry Saturnalia, and a Happy New Year.